It's all about futures in the stock market, making it every analyst's mission to find the next big thing in the NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow. The same applies to the diamond here on Coffee and Curveballs, where we're searching for the players from the classes of 2025, 26, and 27 who are poised to see their own stocks rise ahead of Prep Baseball's next class rankings update. I'm Cory McCartney, and who better to bring in than our own version of Jim Cramer, who knows there's always a bull market somewhere, Shooter Hunt. Shooter, set the parameters as you put your sights on those players that you think are blue chip stocks with serious helium potential.
I'm building this portfolio over here, and I want to call myself Gordon Gecko. But thank you for that Jim Cramer shout out. I think one of the big things throughout the fall is that the fall season is really kind of compact and narrow. We come out of the summer where so much happens. Kind of the fall, you're reviewing your notes, checking players, where are they going to be, what's that upside, and then going through these three classes, especially the 2025s. Hey, what's the draft impact? Who are these guys we need to check out throughout the spring heavily? 26s, who took what they did in the summer, made those jumps? 27s, hey, let's build that list. Who are college coaches going to have to hit the ground running? Who are the guys they need to know? That's kind of where I was looking at these three classes throughout the fall.
Well, let's begin in the class of 2025 and an arm that was a late addition to the Prep Baseball All-American game on Miami. LSU bound Briggs McKenzie, the top ranked left-hander in North Carolina.
Yeah, and looking throughout the historical draft data, and you're checking out guys, we have a great article on prepbaseball.com looking at the seven-figure signing bonus of guys the past 4 years from the prep side. Briggs McKenzie put himself in that conversation. A day one potential guy, has a great summer coming back, can really spin the baseball. The fastball's there. I would expect it to climb up. He is an LSU recruit, so there's a lot of pull towards campus from that side of things. But the North Carolina native can really pitch. Left-handers like that just don't grow on trees. Looks like the part of a starter, and he can really miss bats. I love the upside. I love the makeup. I love the confidence that Brooks McKenzie brings to the diamond.
Yeah, after the All-American game, we were at the hotel watching the replay, and I was with Briggs watching his performance. He made sure to point out that absolutely disgusting slider. When it comes to electricity from the right side, Texas's Brody Walls brings it. But in the talent-rich Lone Star State, trying to climb the rankings seems daunting. Why is the Longhorns commit, who is currently sixth at the position, poised to do just that?
I mean, he comes out this fall and he's in the DFW area, which may be a little bit down this year. I mean, it's not down with him. 94 to 96 this fall. It's electric stuff. You're always going to Texas to find those big arms. Really athletic kid who can do it on both sides. But that impact potential with that right arm is really important. And honestly, just bet on Texas. You know, some guy's going to explode. We're eyeing Brody Walls right now as a guy who could potentially do that in the spring.
There are just a handful of uncommitted seniors in Wisconsin. Among them is Cooper Jesperson, a right-hander who's up to 95. Why do you like the future prospects of the Badger State's 38th ranked player?
This is one of my favorite things about working at prep baseball is guys like Cooper Jesperson, who had a basketball injury, kind of kept him out last summer. He's from Wisconsin, a cold weather state. There were all these detractors that were going against him. He gets healthy, comes into the fall. All of a sudden, he's at one of our ID events and just explodes. I was getting text messages from college coaches all over the country. Who is this kid? And talking with our guys in Wisconsin about a really good basketball player. He was kind of like this last year. We expected him to come on the scene, but then he had a little tricep injury in his non-throwing hand that kind of kept him out. It's electric stuff, can really spin the slider. It's swinging with stuff in the zone. He's one of those guys where it's so exciting to see a player like that who probably went through a ton of frustrations with injury be able to come back, show his stuff. And he's probably going on some very nice visits right now.
Keller Bradley can't climb any higher in Pennsylvania among 2026. Is the top ranked player in the state. The right hander is now a Vanderbilt commit. But from a national level, what's the ceiling for this 6'6" Future Games alum?
Well, I think that ceiling was set really high coming out of the future games. Just love the way that he moved, the frame, Pennsylvania products. A lot of times those guys are late bloomers. He took that late bloomer and he just started, he just approached that high ceiling quickly, probably quicker than even I expected. The fact that he came out of the summer, it's starting to come together. It's not so much baby giraffe. I think he expects success even more so. Did a great job at the Metro Scout Day in Queens recently. It's going to explode out of the hands. He's got some unteachableness, I guess I would say. It just comes out. He can get really tunnel the slider off that big fastball. And I only think he's going to get better. He's got so much to work on, so much to build on. I can't wait to see him next spring.
Clemson bound Blake Bryant is a mainstay at late point sports. I've seen this 6'5" righty rack up swing and miss as an absolute bulk with that three pitch mix. 24th in the nation at the position. How high could he climb?
So one of my favorite things about Blake Bryant is the fact that we've loved him for so long. And shortstop, he looks like an athlete on the mound, and you just kind of take away the radar gun early on. You just see he can really move. It's a quick arm. He knows how to pitch. He can add and subtract, can really spin the baseball. Oh, then he comes down to Lake Point this fall. Ian Smith's out there covering it like he does always there at Lake Point. He's 88 to 92. The breaking ball's really there. Swing and miss stuff. He expects success. He's confident on the bump. What not to like? He's a Clemson recruit. Jimmy Bellinger's itching to get his guy on the weekend there in Clemson. But I just think he's going to continue to rise. And when you have that pitchability, you have that starter makeup, and you expect success, those are three pieces of ingredients that are just really important in the development process. Oh, yeah, and he's in the state of Georgia, which produces nonstop talent.
Yeah, kid absolutely comes to the bump with a lot of confidence. New York's Aiden
Mm-hmm.
Ruiz wraps up the 2026 as Vanderbilt commit switch hitter who brings some versatility in the infield and the outfield.
Yeah, there was some talk that Ruiz was going to reclass the 2025 shoot. He may still be doing that at the time that this is coming out. But the dude can just impact the baseball all summer. He was the hot name that I kept hearing about. Aiden Ruiz. Aiden Ruiz, this guy can just play. This guy can just ball. He just does it nonstop. Another kid who comes to the Metro Scout Day and looks like the best player on the field as a 2026, can really pick it at shortstop, switch hitter, goes out there with something to prove at all time, chip on his shoulder, super athletic, bat the ball skills, can spray it around. There's some sneaky pop. He is just an ultra intriguing name. Looking forward to covering him from a draft standpoint next summer as well.
On to the 2027s, and you mentioned these guys trying to get on coaches' lists. How key does that make fall events and then those early season events for them to get their names out there?
I think it's marquee, and you and I will talk about this, and I'll do a great job, not to pump my own horn there, with some podcasting just about what the purpose of those preseason events are. You want to have the college coaches; they have a limited and finite amount of time to actually get on the road and recruit throughout the spring. They want to find out, where do I need to go? Who are the must watches throughout the spring? Where do I need to go as soon as I hit the ground running in the summer? They're really getting those schedules together, building up lists. And that's why the 2027s throughout the fall and the winter, it's just important to get on these lists so that guys know where to go and who to recruit.
Well, you made a recent trip down to the Lone Star State for the Texas State games, got eyes on Luben Ron out of Shadow Creek. We talked about trying to separate yourself as a right-handed arm in Texas and how daunting that is. Equally so, it's a shortstop position, but Rincon, currently seventh in the state rankings, has some metrics that just jump off the page.
Yeah, it's a couple of years ago I wrote The Rise of the Texas Shortstop, and it's just continuing. Rincon looked the part, slowed things down on the dirt early on. He's a 6'8" runner. He's 6'2", 6'3", about 170, legs up to his chin. It's square shouldered. There's just so much to build on. Left-handed hitter, still young, right? All these guys are just sophomores in their fall season, just transferring over from freshmen to sophomores here. In game, he was even better. The bat the ball, there's power there. He expected to put the bat in the ball and drive it with authority. I think it's going to be an impact bat in the lineup. Sticks at shortstop. Guys are going to want to follow this in a hurry next spring into the summer and expect him to be a name who, surprise, surprise, is a top 100 recruit in class.
So Alabama's Paul Barnett was a junior feature gamer in 2023, sits in the top 50 among shortstops nationally. Hard not to see some helium for a bat producing triple-digit exit velos and a bat speed north of 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, a kid who shows up to the Alabama-Mississippi border battle and puts on a show. His brother, Caleb Barnett, a guy we'll see at the Super 60, another day one draft candidate, super athletic, just moves well through impact from the right side, hit power potential, can move all around the field. He's one of those versatile defenders because of his athleticism, can also pitch, kind of does it all. Love the way the swing works, and I'm sure a lot of coaches will also love the way that swing works next spring.
I've spent some time around Georgia's Mikhail Moon, a switch hitter, technically a switch hitter, a natural righty. He's found more power from the left side, hitting almost exclusively lefty now. Shooter, all he does is hit. It figures to keep on climbing for an outfielder who's currently 63rd nationally.
Yeah, it's a guy who we love about the ball skills. It's a super smooth swing for both sides of the plate, ultra athletic, steps in the box, can make excellent pitch decisions while also slowing things down, moves around the field really well. Obviously, you talk about a guy from Georgia, he did a great job at the Georgia-South Carolina, another border battle there, which had some really talented arms, especially on the South Carolina side. But the dude can flat out hit. So those guys are ultra important when building a recruiting class. Guys who can step on campus from day one and impact the game.
Finally, Colton Floyd has some serious two-way tools, and you can consider a 103 exit velo, 90 outfield velo, and he's up to 90 on the mound, all at 6'5". This New Mexico product ready for his close-up.
Yeah, our first New Mexico State games, which was really cool and fun to see. While I was in Texas, this was going on. It takes a lot for Shea Sabranti, who ran a great event there, calling me mid-event to say, hey, this Colton Floyd kid can flat out play. Again, kind of similar to Barnett and the fact that the bat's going to really impact the ball, can also hop in the bump and looks the part there. But in the box, physical presence, hits the ball hard, hits the ball far. The hit tools there can spray to all fields. I'm really excited about what Colton Floyd's going to bring to the summer circuit, and just seeing what he has to do next summer.
Well, as the aforementioned Jim Cramer, host of Mad Money, says, I'm not smarter than the market, but I can recognize a good tape and a bad tape, and Shooter Hunt can most certainly recognize good game film. So make sure you go heavy on these futures. And also make sure you keep it locked right here. We'll have plenty more coffee and curveballs coming your way. Until next time, I'm Cory McCartney. That's Shooter Hunt, and we'll see you at the Diamond.